What's up, guys? It's Joe the Pro here, back at it again with another instructional video. Before this video starts, please drop a like, hit subscribe, and hit the post notification bell. Today we will be discussing distributor belts.
The distributor belt is the gray belt that the pin falls onto when it falls off of the orienter pan. This belt needs to stay clean and grippy at all times for proper and smooth operation. If the belt becomes slimy, it will need to either be cleaned or replaced.
It is important to keep up with the maintenance on cleaning the distributor belts and ensuring that they are still tacky and are gripping the pins. Failure of the belt to grip the pins will result in jams and other issues. While inspecting the distributor belts, you will also want to keep an eye on the tensioner springs that are on either side of the distributor assembly. This will ensure that the proper amount of tension is put on the belt while the machine is operating. Loose belts can stop and cause jams as well. We will have to start by removing the tensioner springs on either side of the distributor. Sometimes it helps to have a flathead screwdriver handy or a spring puller. We will also need to get the one on the opposite side. Doing this removes the tension on the belt. As you can see, it's loose now. We will then need to locate the pin that holds the belt lacings together. It helps to have a pair of needle nose pliers to pull on it. Which helps separate the belt. They may break on you like this one did, but once you have it pulled, you can then remove the belt. Now that we have the belts laid out on a flat surface side by side, this is the new belt, this is the belt that we just took off. On the other side, we have them lined up perfectly, and we are going to have to trim this belt. As you can see, the new one is too long. So we are going to take our straight edge and match it up to the old one and take a Sharpie and draw a line across. Now, if your tensioner springs are too loose and there's not enough tension on the belt, you will want to adjust where you cut the new belt accordingly to put more tension on it. If there's too much tension on the old belt, you will do the opposite. Now that we have the belt marked, we will take a sharp knife or a razor blade and do a straight cut all the way across through the belt. Okay, for the next part, you will now need the belt lacing tool provided by AMF and a vise, and you will also need the new lacing to go on the end of the belt. You will put the new lacing in the belt lacing tool as shown, and then there is a pin on the end that you slide through to hold it while you get the belt in there. You will now need to set it in a vise, making sure that it is seated all the way in the vise so that once you get the belt in there, you will be able to clamp it down firmly. Now, we will evenly put the belt in the lacing tool, making sure that we have an even amount of space on either side of the lacing. And once we determine that it's correct, we will then clamp it using the vise. And you will want to clamp it tight to make sure that the lacing is all the way into the belt. And once you have it tightened in there, you can then loosen the vise and then remove the pin out of the tool. And that will let your belt come out, and now your belt is laced. Now, before we go back to the machine, you will also want to take your razor blade on either side of the belt and just cut a section out of the corner to prevent the corner from chipping or the lacing that's actually in the belt from coming out. Okay, now we've come back to the machine with our belt laced and cut to the proper length. Now to install the belt on the distributor, you're going to I take the excess belt and throw it over the A-frame to give yourself room with the belt. And you are going to begin feeding it onto the distributor. You're going to want to wrap it around the back wheel first, go all the way to the bottom. So we are feeding it through the bottom now, and we are going to come to the front roller and come directly the opposite direction. Come all the way to this back roller where your tensioner springs go, and then you'll want to wrap it around there, being careful not to get it caught in that shaft that holds the tensioner roller. Then you're going to come back to the front and go around the main roller on the distributor head. This part is a little tricky at times. Sometimes you may need a flat blade screwdriver to get the belt to come out, but I was able to. And then you can meet both sides here. Whenever you need to replace a distributor belt, you always replace the pin that goes in to connect the lacing. Sometimes you need an extra set of hands, and sometimes you can get it in yourself. And get it started like that, and feed it the rest of the way in. After you install the pin to connect the lacing, you will want to take a pair of needle nose pliers and just bend the end of the lacing ever so slightly to prevent it from backing out over time. Now we will reinstall our tensioner springs that we removed earlier. When you install these springs, you're going to want to make sure the bracket that holds the tensioner roller is pointed down in most cases. And then you'll take a spring puller or a flat blade screwdriver and install the spring. Same thing on the other side. All right, now that we're all set and done installing the belt, we will want to double check to make sure the distributor operation is correct. So I'm going to let the pins start feeding into the cups. Once we spot a good rack, that will conclude our instructional video on how to install a new distributor belt. Any questions or comments, please contact my YouTube contact email, joethepro181@gmail.com. And please like, subscribe, and peace, and make sure you do it like a pro. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.